Mohenjo-daro was built with order, street after street, wall after wall, room after room. The same pattern appears again and again. 5,000 years ago, someone decided how this city should be built, and somehow that order survived longer than the people who created it. We do not know their names. We do not know what they called this city. We still cannot read their writing. And then, silence. Today, Mohenjo-daro lies in ruins. Its streets are empty. Doorways open into dust. Broken pottery rests where people once walked. And in some places, archaeologists found something darker, human remains. Some in streets, some in rooms. For decades, that made the story sound simple. A great city, a sudden death, a massacre. But the truth was not that simple. How does a city this organized become this silent? To understand the mystery, first look at what Mohenjo-daro was. This was not a scattered settlement, it was a planned city. From above, the order becomes clearer. Straight streets, flat rooftops, courtyards, wells. People moving through a city built to function. Water was not an afterthought here. It moved through brick channels. Covered drains ran beneath streets. Homes were built around courtyards and wells. And at the heart of Mohenjo-daro stood one of its most remarkable spaces, the Great Bath. Brick, water, stillness. It was built with care, built to hold water, built to endure. Whatever happened here mattered. This was a city that had already solved problems most of the world hadn't faced yet. For thousands of years, Mohenjo-daro was not a city to the world above it. It was a mound in the dust.
More brick here. This is older than we thought.
Careful on that edge.
Beneath the surface was not just broken brick, it was a buried city. Streets below dust, walls below soil. And then came the detail that made it feel almost modern. A covered drain. A city built not only to stand, but to work. Before it was silent, Mohenjo-daro was alive. Morning moved through its streets. Across the rooftops, smoke rose from homes. Below, lanes carried people, carts, water, and work.
I'll bring you to another jar.
It's clear.
Clay turned beneath the potter's hands. Beads were sorted slowly. Stone, shell, carnelian, small things shaped with patience. A seal pressed into clay could mark a bundle. A symbol could travel farther than the person who made it.
This one too.
But still, we cannot read what it says. Even beneath the street, the city kept working. A cover lifted, water moved through brick. From that world, small things survived. A bronze figure, a carved seal, a clay pot held in someone's hand.
How much?
2 measures. Make room!
But cities do not always die in fire. Sometimes they fade. The streets that carried voices begin to grow quiet.
Not many traders today. Nothing's growing.
Outside the city, the land changes. The ground cracks, fields dry. The river shifted, channels dried, banks pulled away from the city. What once gave life began to move beyond reach. Back in the streets, the change is visible. Not fire, not war, but absence. A jar left behind, sand in the market, a doorway with no one inside. And then the city begins to empty. This is where Mohenjo-daro becomes human again.
Come on.
A place people had to leave. One family goes, then another. No single ending, no final scream, just footsteps moving away from a city that could no longer hold them. When a city is found silent, people search for a violent answer. Bones in a room, remains in a street. So people imagined one answer. Invaders, riders at the edge of the city.
There it is.
A powerful image, but not proof. The ruins show no final battle, no burned city, no single moment of destruction. So the question turned back to water, floods, drought, a river pulling away from the life built around it. Tense, restrained, water could rise through the streets, break into homes, force people to run with what they could carry.
Water's coming in! Water's coming!
Keep going!
Then came the wildest story. A sudden blast, one impossible flash. But spectacle is not evidence. Maybe there was no single ending. Not one army. Not one flood. Not one flash. Maybe Mohenjo-daro faced many pressures at once. Water rose. Water disappeared. Families left. And slowly, the city did not fall, it emptied. Today, Mohenjo-daro is silent again. The streets remain, the walls remain, the bricks still hold their pattern, but the voices are gone, the names are gone, the writing is still unread. This was not a myth. It was a real city, built by real people. And 5,000 years later, we are still asking, how does a city this organized become this silent?